To kick off, this is the kind of sentence that sums us up, really. We have a pretty humble beginning, and we actually managed to start our business with the very humble figure of £5,000 in the bank. No one knows it when they first start, okay? If you know it all when you first started, you've probably overthought things, you've over-strategized things, you've probably had too much money at your disposal. You need to just get started, make some mistakes, and mistakes are the most valuable part of any business. I always say to our teams, it's only a mistake if you make it twice. And for us, we have lived and died by our mistakes, and we've grown, and we're constantly looking to make ourselves better. We made our food ourselves. We've learned the hard way through droughts and monsoon seasons we seem to be getting in the UK as well, trying to deal with how complicated homemade food is. But it's something we've stuck with, and I think now we've actually shown you can produce food at mass scale and do it well. What we're trying to do is address our imprint on the planet and do it properly. And for us, that is obviously the beef that we buy. We go through a lot of beef, something called regenerative agriculture, that is the heart of what we're trying to do to massively affect our supply chain.
I think you and I could talk about farming for a long, long time.
Yes,
as an ex-farmer.
You're an ex-farmer, exactly.
My apologies. You're talking about the length of the supply chain and the levels of margin that get added on as it goes up. Obviously, if you're working with a much shorter supply chain, the people that are producing the food can produce it to a higher quality, to a higher specification, and still make a good living at the other end of it as well. So yeah. I think that authenticity comes right away, all the way down to the supply chain, and leads to better outcomes at the bottom as well as at the customer end.
Yeah, even as someone who owns a restaurant chain, I thought I knew our supply chain really well until I really dug into it. And I mean, strong-armed some of our suppliers to tell me the origins of some of these things. Then you actually find out. And I think that's part of the reason hospitality finds it so difficult, because either they don't want to know or they genuinely don't know. But either way, they kind of don't want you guys to know. And that's tough, right? So you do need to be more curious, I think, and that's not just in hospitality, that's in everything we do. We all need to be way more curious about where these things come from and how they magically appear on our plate at some very suspicious pricing.
Do you think there's a bit of a disconnect in seeing digital as something completely separate from the physical experience, and it's trying to work out how the two meld together? And also, when you talk about things like contactless at table ordering, for you as a brand, doesn't that remove some of the interaction that you have with the customer, some of the authenticity?
I think Honest Burgers is built, we call it honest experiences. We want you to have fun with the person serving you, and we want to give that person serving you the opportunity to have some fun with you. If you're a really good waiter, you've got a real skill getting to know someone in the matter of a few minutes, and we've all had them. When you walk into a restaurant and you feel welcome and you feel like you're here for a good time, it's a great feeling. At Honest Burgers, we've always wanted to have that connection and that experience, and that's why our ratings, they're not just about our food. Most restaurants, the ratings are normally always about the quality of the food. We get just as many positive reviews about our service. And sometimes I love it when they don't even mention the food. It's that doesn't even matter. That's just a hygiene factor. Of course the food was good.
Yeah.
But actually, Darren, who served me, he was awesome, and we had a shot of Tuaca at the end, and he's told me to go to this bar around the corner. That's the stuff we love. And if you put too much technology into a concept like ours, you do kind of strip that away. Phil, my business partner, talks about this a lot, that true loyalty shouldn't be transactional, and sadly that's what most loyalty schemes are. It's come for 5 coffees, get your 6th free, and it does kind of work, because you get your free coffee at the end of it, so you think you're getting something. But we were always trying to unpick loyalty to be something that was a deeper connection to that. and we never nailed it until what we've done at the moment, which I mentioned earlier. We're doing our crowd raise at the moment. We're looking to bring in our customer base because you get that loyalty. Like if someone's invested, even if it's 50 quid with us, they will probably eat with us more because we're going to give them some perks to do so. And they'll treat us like they own our business, which, to be an ambassador of the business when you start becoming a shareholder is great. It's a really good thing for us to do. And right now, I think we're just shy of £2 million we've raised so far, and we've been live for 3 days. If you're a high roller and you're going to put in big money, we'll close a restaurant for you. We'll design your perfect burger, which I will do with you. And then we'll invite 50 of your mates down for basically a massive piss up in our restaurant, and we'll cook your dream burger for everyone.
Now there's a sales pitch right there.
It is, yeah, but it's not cheap, I'm afraid, that one.